What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about if a man, when he's playing games, is he actually playing games and pulling away to get something out of you, such as you chasing him, power, whatever it is, or is he actually pulling away because he's not interested? Very important, because I think depending on the answer, you got to play accordingly. And I had people ask me this in my live stream on Instagram, so I'm going to make a video about it. I told her I was going to make a video about it. So jumping right into it, there's three things I want to talk about, okay? Three reasons why I think it's one and not the other. So number one, you have to understand that in my opinion, I think this is for a large amount of men, okay? I mean like 90% of men are up. I think a lot of men play more when they're playing games. They're playing it more offensively than defensively. Now, what do I mean by that? If a man is playing games, it is the games that you most likely like, meaning the heavy investing, the love bombing, the fast pace. Now, again, when I say like, you might be like, I don't know, he's moving really fast or he's saying a lot of shit, but you'd rather him say that than pull away, right? So that's what I mean by it. The guy's coming on and laying it on very strong. That's where a man plays games if he does. He does not play them defensively, which is where the man is pulling back to get a reaction out of you, where the man is purposely leaving you or leaving you on red to, again, get a reaction out of you and to gain some type of power. That doesn't happen a lot of the times. And the reason for this is the second thing I wanted to bring up, which is men are risk avoidant and very resourceful. So if we take what I just said into consideration, that men, when they do play games, it's offensively and not defensively. Well, why is that? It's because men are resourceful. We know that if we're going to invest in a woman to get a certain thing from her and then start playing games, right, and put ourselves in the chance or risk of losing her, it just doesn't make sense. It's more logical for you to assume the guy's just losing interest or he's not interested. Men are risk avoidant. There's no reason for a man who wants an outcome, not even a relationship, just an outcome, whether it's sex, winning this, that, whatever. Like it's smarter for him to invest in a woman, okay, to invest in her, to win her over, and then hold on to his resources, meaning not overly investing it. He's only going to overly invest it if he didn't get what he wants, right? Which at this case, it would be a relationship. So if you're hooking up with a guy, here's what I'm trying to get at. If you're hooking up with a guy, okay, and he's still investing heavily in you, and you both mentioned that you want a relationship, you're going to get a guy to invest in you until he gets a relationship, okay? If he's investing in you, and then you guys have sex, and then he pulls back, it's probably a lack of interest. It's not games. Because there's no reason for a man to do that if it's a game. I hope this is making sense. If a guy likes you, he's not going to invest heavily, get what he wants, and then be like, oh, I'm gone. Like that, like it's like if you're owning a business, right? Think of it like this. If you're owning a business, why would you do a one-time payment for $10, right? Like here's $10, to work with me. Instead, why don't you do $10 a month, like a monthly subscription? You get more out of it as the business. Same, I know that sounds messed up, but it's same with men. It just doesn't make sense from a resource perspective to keep on it or to invest heavily in a woman and then to back off. If he does back off, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, it's, I think, a lack of interest instead of playing games. Especially, here's the key point here, if he doesn't need to play games in the first place by backing off because he's already getting what he wanted by investing in you. You get what I'm saying? So when a guy pulls away, it's usually not games, it's usually a lack of interest. Which leads me to the last thing. I tell my clients this all the time. Men are very logical. I always say if you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras. Now, of course, I don't think a zebra or a horse should be in your backyard, but if you had to pick one or the other, it's probably going to be a horse. There's no reason for you to assume it's this exotic animal such as a zebra that doesn't just appear in people's backyards, right? Unless you live next to a zoo. It's no different with men. If you are seeing the signs of a man pull away, it's smarter for the woman to assume he's pulling away instead of playing games. Because if you assume he's playing games and he's not, then you're playing a game that's like you're acting accordingly. You're playing a game that's not even there. Okay? Whereas if he is playing a game, but you assume either way he's pulling away and stuff like that, well, then you know what to do. You know to cut your losses, and you know not to waste your resources if a guy's playing this. So it's like a meta game inside of a meta game, if that makes sense. If a guy's playing this BS with you ladies, it's just safe to pull away, or first off, bring it up. I always say communicate, bring it up, and if it doesn't change, then you pull away. There's no point in someone saying, oh, you're pulling away? Well, watch this. I'm going to pull away. We're going to see who cracks first. And then you go 2 weeks without talking to each other. That's not interest. That's what I'm trying to get at from like the first thing I said in the second point. Like, that's not interest. Just assume he's not interested. A guy doesn't do that when he really, really likes a girl, especially if he's getting the benefits by, behaving like a good boy and giving you what you want. Why would he pull away? The only thing a woman can say is, well, he'll save resources. Well, he saves resources on a beta woman, like a high value woman, to be, again, men are risk avoidant. A lot of women would be like, well, because if he pulls away, he's doing what you said, he's saving on resources and I'm still chasing. Well, yeah, but for that cycle to work, you got to chase. Stop chasing. If you're a high value woman, don't chase a guy who does this stuff, right? Don't chase a guy who does this stuff. It's not worth it. Assume always, it's just, like I said, if you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras. Always assume if a guy's playing these games, that it's not games, that it's a lack of interest. It is just better for you to play from that mindset, that role, okay? Like I said, a guy, if he does this stuff, it's going to be more on the offense than the defense. A guy is going to do the stuff to win you over instead of taking a risk and playing more defensively by pulling away and having you chase. Because again, no high-value woman would stand for this. No high-value woman would, okay? So with that being said, ladies, if you want a session with me, if you want a guide on this, I literally have a guide on how much a guy likes you and how to tell if he sees you long-term. Link is down below. I love you all. Take care. Tell me if you like this setup, and peace.